All right, guys, welcome back to the next episode of the Grand Prairie PD podcast. I'm your host, Nate, here with KD.
Yes, sir.
We are here today with Officer Jeff. You go by Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff's fine.
Jeffrey. He is one of our K9 officers, and we actually already got to talk to one of y'all, so I'll be interested to hear a new perspective on things.
Yeah, Lance is an interesting guy.
He is. He's very clean cut. I was always telling him he's so clean cut and very. I told him you give me like a church deacon vibe.
Oh yeah, very much a church deacon vibe.
Yeah. And I see him out in the field with his dog, and I'm like, there's no deacon I've ever seen before.
But you will almost never hear him cuss. I've heard him cuss 2 times in.
Yeah, I don't know that I have.
I've worked here 13 years with him. Yeah. I've heard him cuss 2 times in 13 years, and they really had to make him mad to do that.
Which is impressive because y'all are training dogs together.
Yeah.
Which is
it's super frustrating.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I can't imagine. I'm not much of a dog person anyway, but like the lengths that y'all go to is so far above them. Like I get normal dog people. It's like, yeah, okay, they're cute, they're fluffy, you can pet them, whatever. And y'all take it to a whole new level where it's like it's.
But they have to.
Yeah, it's almost like making a job out of a hobby, though. It's like I feel like you kind of take the fun part of a dog out.
Sometimes it does. Yeah, I'm on my 3rd one, so I've started over 3 times.
Golly.
So this is not. It gets more frustrating each time, especially once you get experience with a dog, then starting over.
Yeah.
You're expecting the dog to do one thing.
Yeah.
And then now this new dog's not doing that thing, and you're like, well, why aren't you doing that? And I had to remind myself, he doesn't know how to do that yet.
Yeah. So it's exactly like having kids.
Exactly. You start over. Yeah.
Like, I know you're going to go to sleep eventually. You know you're going to go to sleep eventually. Just shut up and go to sleep.
And I'm going to fight you all the way there.
Yep.
That was last night for me.
So you saying start over. How many dogs total? You said this is
3.
your 3rd one?
3rd one.
Are you losing them?
No, I have all 3 of them at the house.
Oh, okay.
All 3?
Yes. I have 3 police dogs at my house. I have more dogs than kids.
I'm about to say, your wife is like, babe, no more.
Oh, no, she's already said no more.
Yeah. You don't even wake up. If you hear someone trying to break in the house, you're just like, I'll clean it up.
They'll take care of it.
I'll clean it up when I get up. Yeah.
I'll take my time.
That's funny.
There's 2 of them sleep inside, 1 stays outside.
Yeah.
So
why does the one stay outside?
he's just not the friendliest dog, and I don't trust him around the family. He's not the friendly personality. It's unusual for us. We usually try to get the more social dogs, and this one just didn't end up being social. I mean, he's fine. Like, if we're working, like we're out searching for somebody, and you guys are walking around me, he will completely ignore you. You are nothing to him as far as like a threat. But for some reason, he just does not want to be petted and doesn't want to be loved on. But by me, yes. Everybody else, he's like, I don't know.
But hold on, because don't you have a little one? Yeah. Like, what is your wife like, babe?
The dog stays outside, and they don't go outside unless he's in the kennel. So we have a separate kennel that he's locked in.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, it's been unusual because the other two are super social. Yeah. Especially the middle one. My daughter, like, she'll lay on him, and he just lays there and takes it.
Which one was that that's not social?
AJ is his name.
AJ, I don't think because I was around. Was Yurik yours?
Yurik, yeah. Yurik was my first one.
I worked with Yurik before I went upstairs.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever worked around
Rush. Rush was the second one.
Oh, okay, so AJ is the most recent one.
Yeah, he's the most recent one.
Okay, gotcha.
So AJ just needs more training.
It's not so much training, it's just personality. You know, each of these dogs has their own personality.
Really?
And he's a super high-strung dog.
Yeah.
Like, always ready. Every time I get out of the car, he loses his mind, thinks he's going to get out of the car, too. And I'm like, dude, you just need to chill. Like, I get in and out of the car all the time. You know, make a traffic stop, I get out. And you stay in the car.
That's funny.
So he's ready to work all the time. I don't know if he ever gets out of that work mode. Like, I know y'all talked with Lance about some of the dogs have that switch. They know when they're at home mode. And this dog, he knows he's at home, but I still think if he wanted to, he'd work right then.
So you're just like any of your kids get older and accidentally bring drugs home, like you're catching them like that.
Oh yeah.
Just start signaling.
I mean, I got 3 dogs in the house, so but they're too young for that. So
yeah. So what's the man? I have a whole bunch of questions. So I'm a dog guy, you know, through and through. So
not that he's a dog. He just
I understand.
Okay. Gotta clarify.
So what's the an average? I don't know work span? Is it 7 years?
It's been 6 to 8 usually. My first one, Yurik, he went 6 years. During sometime the year 3 or 4, he tore an ACL, but it was only a slight tear, so they wouldn't repair it.
Yeah.
So he just worked through it and eventually got to the point where he started developing arthritis.
Yeah.
And so there was 2 days in a row I walked him out to the car and he couldn't jump into the car. And so I had to help him. And I was like, that's when I took him to the vet and I'm like, and she's like, yeah, he's got the arthritis and we can give him pain medication and keep working. I'm like, he's worked too hard for that. You know, like let him come home, be a dog. So now he gets to do whatever he wants and he sleeps half the day and he gets loved on by the kids and the wife. And
we need a program like that when we do like 5 to 10 years and we're injured. It's like, what, just beat up. I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, lay down, baby. I got you.
But so he lasted 6 years. Rush only worked a year. He has some kind of issue. We never actually figured out what caused it, but so the first time it happened, we were out in the west lot in that field, and we were throwing the toy, and then all of a sudden his legs gave out. I have no idea why. It looked
You
like
said legs, like all of them?
the back two, and he was dragging his back 2 legs trying to chase the toy.
Like paralyzed.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
And so I scooped him up, and we ran lights and sirens to the vet. I'm like freaking out.
Yeah.
And by the time we got there, he was up walking around like nothing had happened. They couldn't figure out reason why. We finally tried to recreate it. We found his temperature was going from 101 is his normal temperature, which is very normal for a dog, to 106 in 11 minutes of exercise. And they don't know why. We did all these tests.
The dogs normally regulate better than that?
Yeah.
Huh.
So 107s for dogs is when you start getting brain damage.
Oh, geez.
So the temperature jumped real quick. We couldn't figure out why. We did a bunch of tests and could never figure it out. He still has it sometimes where he'll be laying and he'll take off after a rabbit or something that runs to the yard, and same thing. His legs will go out. He'll get all wobbly and freaking out. So he basically, obviously, we can't have him chasing after bad guys and give out. So we couldn't figure out why, and I'm sure it's probably some minor heart defect or something that's causing some kind of issue. That's what the vet thinks. But even if we did all the tests in the world, he's not going to be a police dog anymore.
Right.
So we medically retired him, and then that's when I got the third one. So I've had him for a little over a year now.
So when you go to the vet, is that comped by the city? Like
the city pays for all the vet bills until they retire.
That's what I was about to ask. So they were saying, hey, congratulations, you get this dog that, not talking trash about the dog, but you're broken. So you have to accept all the financial responsibility?
Yep. Yeah, Yurik's got more problems than Rush does. Like,
really?
Yeah. So he has a thyroid issue that he's always had. He has EPI, the endocrine pancreatic insufficiency. So basically, his pancreas doesn't make the correct enzyme to digest his food properly. So I had to buy a supplement to put on his food to help his body digest and absorb all the nutrients. And I spend about $400 a month on Yurik's medication and food. So
that's $400 on one dog.
Yeah. Well, Rush is actually, with that issue, there's really nothing we can do.
He just gets slow sometimes.
So he'll be having a little episode for 10, 15 minutes, and then he's back up and back to his normal self.
Yeah.
Could it cause issues later on? Maybe. But right now he's 4, maybe almost 5. So.
Dang.
Yeah, so he's just his food. I just pay for food for him.
So what would happen if you were a more cold-hearted person and you were like, okay, this dog is...
was going there.
Well, no, I'm saying like if you're like, okay, thank you for offering me this dog, but
the options were to
this much money.
send him back to where we got him from, or me keep him.
Where'd you get him from?
It's a kennel down in Bandera. It's called Hill Country.
K9's I'm like, been there.
I went straight to South America.
Bandera, Texas. It's down by San Antonio.
Been there, Texas. I've been there too.
So that's where we got him from, and adoption was to go back to him, but he can't sell the dog.
Yeah, no.
So I don't know what would have happened to him then.
Yeah.
So I figured he was good with the kids and good with the family and good with Yurik.
So I always thought that, y'all got those dogs like overseas somewhere.
They all come from overseas. Yeah, they get them from overseas, and we buy them from vendors here in the United States.
Oh, gotcha.
So, like, I've got all the 3. I've been to 3 different vendors to get dogs. So,
really?
All of them, the first 2 came from Holland. So, Rush and Yurik are both from Holland. And then this newest one's from Germany.
Yeah, that's right.
You heard it. You all speak different languages to them. You have
to, Dutch or German commands what.
Okay.
So, your AJ, since he's from Germany, his commands are mostly in German. Okay. So I had to switch up with some commands. Some of them are the same, but some of them are now in German.
Did you get stressed and you're yelling at the new one and
I've
Dutch,
used,
it's not working.
I've used the wrong command a couple times, but it's just like anything. You get into new habits, just like you would.
Yeah.
Old habits. You just have to
That's
break
funny
the old
'cause
one.
I've always seen like, and I guess cops do this too. We fall in the trap. Like I've seen movies or even like episodes of police shows where they're using different languages. I thought it was like a super secret like code or formulated reasons so that no one else could tell a dog what to do, and it's just because they're from there.
Yeah. Like we have some dogs in our training group that are they use Czech commands because their dogs are from the Czech Republic. So just
That's interesting.
it's easier for us to learn a few phrases in another language than it is to teach
Why?
a dog new commands.
It
So,
seems like a couple extra steps to bother getting the dog all the way from the other countries. Why is it that they go there?
they breed them there. And
I
they
don't
breed
think-
them specifically for that there.
Really?
So,
And we can't find one person in America that breeds. What is it, Malinois? Malinois?
so usually we have Malinois. So my newest one's actually a Dutch Shepherd.
Oh,
So he's an interesting color. He's brindle, like he's got tiger stripes on him.
yeah.
That's cool.
He looks cool. He looks really good, but he's just not friendly.
So y'all like to you get like this. See, this one's German, right? Mm-hmm. You get this German dog that's a shepherd breed and it has tiger stripes on it. You're like, I don't know why it's aggressive.
Yeah, well, Dutch Shepherds
liger.
seem to have something wrong with them, like mentally anyway. So,
No offense to any Dutch people.
no, not Dutch people, Dutch Shepherds.
Just your
Dutch
dogs.
Shepherds. So how big is Yurik now? Because
Yurik is 85 pounds.
Yeah.
He was 97 when he was working, but he's lost some weight since he retired.
yeah, he's
So
a
the opposite
big
of
boy.
us.
Yeah, well, it's because he isn't working as much, so his
Right,
muscles
yeah.
aren't muscle.
Yeah.
Sure.
He was straight muscle when he was working.
Yeah, that dog was huge. I think he's the one that bit me when I came in and did my training. And I don't have anything against dogs. But like one of my first dogs, or first dogs, one of my first jobs was reading water meters out in this podunk, know nothing town. And like sometimes you have to go read the meter, but then the dogs and the people who live there didn't know if you're reading it or turning it off. And so they would just let the dog go on you. And so like I carried this baseball bat and I had to run out there try to get the number real quick before the dog could get me and bite me. And I wasn't always quick enough. And it's never been like the biggest cheerleader for dogs. But I forgot where I was going with that.
Something about being bit by Yurik.
Oh yeah, going into that training, was not stoked about it at all. And you could visually tell a couple of the dogs were smaller than Yurik, and I was like, just don't give me the beastly one. And that's the one I got.
Yeah.
I had the giant suit on, and he bit me on the inner thigh, and I totally expected to need to put on a tourniquet when it was over with.
No,
That was fun.
It hurts, but
Yeah.
actually, Yurik didn't do a whole lot of damage when he actually bit people. I was surprised, as big as his head was.
Me too.
Yeah.
But Bullet did more damage to people than Yurik
Really?
ever did. Yeah, he was a true bite and hold dog. He'd just bite and hold on.
Yeah.
And if you start fighting with him,
Yeah.
then you're going to get all the pressure he can give you. But
So when you say like bite and hold, there's different variations of.
yeah, so you can train the dog to bark and hold. So basically, where they bark, they'll find you and they'll bark at you.
Okay.
And then if you move or try to run away, then they're allowed to bite you. But that takes a lot of training into a disciplined dog to not just say screw it.
Yeah.
So
That would seem like the most politically correct option.
it would, but it's one of the more difficult to train and also to get the dogs to actually do. So I'd
So
rather
the other option's what? Just
the
straight
bite and
to
hold.
bite?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I like that one. There
Yeah.
it is. Get him. Okay.
Yeah.
As long as you're not doing canine training with it.
it's not that
let me
bad.
stand still.
I spent 2 years getting bit
Yeah,
before
no,
I got a
something-
dog. So.
There's something wrong with a few of you guys in the department because y'all volunteer for that stuff.
Yeah.
And trust me, the suit you had was much thicker than the one I did.
Well, not only that, and there's a part I don't understand. You'll see the guys do the training, and they have a sleeve on. Mm-hmm. That's it. And they're running, and hold the arm up, and it's like the
Yeah.
dog is going to
What
bite
if
the sleeve. It's like, well, I'm glad he picked that arm this time, but you got like 4 other limbs or 3 of the limbs.
It's all about presenting the target. If you give them something to bite, that's what they're going to take because it's what's easy, right? It's just like us. We're going to cheat. If I can grab your hoodie, and drag you down, why am I going to try to actually tackle you? I can just grab your hoodie and drag you down.
Yeah.
Dogs the same way. You give them something to look at, they're going to take it.
I feel like I get that dog that's just tired of arms, and he's like, nah, I want a leg today.
It happens. That's
And I'm not-
AJ. He likes legs.
Yeah.
See,
So he'll take legs. But actually, as a decoy, being bit in the leg hurts less than being bit in the arm.
Really?
Yeah, because it doesn't pinch as much.
Oh, yeah.
There's more fat, more meat to get a hold of, and so it doesn't pinch. But if you get right here on the back of your arm, it'll pinch the crap out of you. Like that hurts. Where like I used to come home black and blue all up and down the back of my arms from the dogs when I was decoying.
Yeah, no, thank you. Did y'all get a new suit, bite suit?
Yeah, we have a newer.
Yeah, because I peed in the last one. And dog bit me, and I went
Not during bite training, just
Trust me, you weren't the worst. There's
man.
another officer here that literally started screaming real bite, and he was being bit on the suit. So, like, he freaked out, thought he was actually being bit. And we all run in there like, oh, my God. And we walk in there, and it's like in the middle of the arm, like in the suit. There's no way there's a tooth coming through. We're like, come on, man.
Yeah, I have sympathy for people with that.
Yeah.
Because and the way y'all do it is psychologically just so, so messed up.
Oh, it is.
Like, when I did it anyway, don't try it. Don't gaslight me. I'm the victim. I remember when I did it, we were in like this church. I think we probably talked about this with Monty too, but we were in a building of some sort, and it was just dark. It's like they took us, and it's like we're going to imagine that you made every bad life decision that a bad guy did and put you in the situation where you're hiding. Like, you don't want to be hiding. You want to tell a dog, hey, puppy, let's just do this and get it over with. But you're not. You're there, and the building's quiet. All you can hear is like the little – it's like Jurassic Park. You hear the little – yeah. It's excruciating.
Yeah, but
I hated it.
You just tighten up, and here he comes. And
I hated that. The only thing I hated more than that was the mace.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. That's way worse.
Yeah.
I'll take a bite from a dog all day long before I get sprayed again.
Well, yeah, because you're.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did it for 2 years, so it's not that bad.
Y'all should do dogs as like an early intervention program. Like we Scared Straight, you take them to high schools, and it's like, okay, we're getting bit by a dog today.
Yeah.
And don't make bad decisions.
True.
Yeah, I don't know how that would go over.
Poorly. I did have a question. As far as you mentioned the kind of personality of dogs, I know we're supposed to talk about you and not just dogs. Sorry,
That's all good.
We'll do that later.
but like the personality of dogs, you mentioned like this one dog is more aggressive, just always turn on for work or whatever. Obviously, a big part of our process in getting guys to become police officers and girls is to kind of weed out ones who don't need to be there, weed out ones who maybe are good people but just not cut out for it mentally. Is there a process like that for the dogs where it's like, some dogs just mentally are not
Yeah,
the right personality?
we've had a couple here that we've selected, and the money worked a couple dogs that just didn't work out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do y'all look for there?
It's just you kind of get used to knowing what you're looking for. So like we go do a bunch of tests. We'll put the dogs in uncomfortable situations, like biting them and then putting them in a corner, and see if they fight their way out or if they just kind of give up and cower.
Like the bad guys fighting back against the dog. Okay.
So you take the dog on the bite and you stick them in a corner and hold them there and don't let them see if they'll fight their way out. Versus some dogs will cower and let go and then run off. So obviously we don't want that dog because there is a chance, and it's happened. Yurik got assaulted by a suspect he was biting, and so we don't want the dog to cower. We want the dog to fight his way through, just like we would want an officer to fight their way. You don't want them to cower. Somebody bucks up to you. You want the dog to fight back. So we'll do that. We'll put them. Some dogs have environmental issues. Like if you put them on a slick floor, some of those dogs freak out because they don't know what to do.
My dog can't walk on laminate floor unless he sees a thing that he's walking to.
Yeah,
it's the dumbest thing in the world.
Well, you also got to think dogs' depth perception is way, way worse than ours.
Oh, really?
So like dogs, when they see, like if you walk into a dark room, we know that there's a floor there. The dog's going to look at that and go, that's a hole. I'm not going in there.
Really?
So you have to do that too. You have to put them in a dark room and make sure that they're going to just trust that I'm not sending you in there to fall into a hole. Just go. So they can't see. That's why like dogs will look through windows and they can see motion really well, but they can't see anybody. It's like there's a depth perception issue.
No kidding.
So that's why they'll sit there and stare through windows. It's because they can't see what's past there. But then if they see motion, so they see it, I think it's 80 frames per second, where we see it's 60. And so so they see actually motion better than we do. That's why they catch motion from like when they're a predator looking for small animals, they catch motion better than we do.
That's cool.
So they can see motion a lot better. But a black room is a hole to them.
I gotta be nicer to my dog. I thought he was just special needs.
Yeah, we get some dogs that we select for law enforcement that can't do slick floors. Like they will not go bite somebody. If they get on slick floors, they'll let go of the bite and run off.
Yeah, that's how my dog is, and I just thought he was.
Sometimes you can build their confidence where they'll do it, and then some of them will never get over it, and those are dogs we wash out. So we got a bunch of different tests. We do surprise, like we'll have one where we have an umbrella. They'll walk around the corner and you'll pop the umbrella at them. You want to see what they do. Do they run off and cower or do they attack the umbrella? I'd rather take the dog that attacks the umbrella. Like, well, something just attacked me, so screw
Although,
it. I'm going to go.
90% of people in this department, if you put them through the same test, they're going to freak out and run.
But we're looking for specific things in dogs, and so we're testing those things. And we'll take a toy and we'll throw it into the woods, and we'll see how long it takes them to find. Not just to find it. I don't care how long it takes them to find it. I want to see that they're going to keep looking.
If they can't originally.
Yeah, they can't find it right away. I want to see them keep looking. Like we've had dogs where they couldn't find it, and 20 minutes out there running around. Like that's what I want because he's dedicated to finding what I am asking him to find.
Right.
Versus, oh well, I couldn't find it after a couple of minutes. I'll just go back over here.
Yeah.
So we do all those different tests to try to weed out the ones that we don't want. And even then, sometimes you pick a dog and you go through everything, and then you get into a situation and you find this dog just doesn't have it.
So when you say weed them out, is that you doing this test at the place that you're going to pay this vendor? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll do it all there.
Okay, well then I have a crazy question because when he comes here and he doesn't work out, can you return the dog and get your money back?
So it depends on the place. So usually you have a year warranty. So you have a year to cancel. So the new place where we bought mine actually offers a 3-year.
Yeah.
3-year health warranty and then a lifetime workability warranty. So if you run into a problem and he can't fix it, then he'll give us a new dog, regardless how long it's been.
What about like PTSD type circumstances where he's involved in?
I'm not sure if that's covered or not, but because I mean that's just something just like us, you never know how a person's going to react to that.
Sure.
So.
All right, so we talked about dogs. I could do this all day.
So could I.
I actually find it interesting. Like I said, I'm not a dog person, but I find it interesting to hear about the dogs from the perspective of our job. That part is interesting.
Yeah, because like my dog Taco will stand outside, and like you said, he can't really see in. But the minute I move, you'll see his head move, and then it's like he's just tracking me.
That's why he can see the motion more than he can see how far into the room you are.
Yeah, that's
that
weird.
completely changed my perspective on my dog too. Because my dog will not walk into the living room. Won't do it unless like if you toss something in there or there's a thing that he wants to go get, he'll go get that. But
it's just, they're uncomfortable.
Weird.
They don't like the slick floors. There's a lot of dogs that have that issue, so it's not an unusual thing.
You do training on the side?
No.
Okay, you come to
my wife keeps telling me I should, but it's frustrating.
Yeah,
I have enough dogs that I have to deal with. I don't really want to do other people's dogs.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually, the guy that we bought the most AJ from, he does pets too.
Yeah.
And he said, well, the worst part about pet owners is that you train the dog, show them how to keep it up, and then they just don't ever do anything. And then they're like, bring it back to you, and they're like, well, the dog doesn't do what he's supposed to. I'm like, well, did you do that? Well, no. I'm like, well, like it's an ongoning process. That's why
it's okay.
Like we literally
pay that fee again.
Yeah. Well, that's what he says. He's like, okay, I'll take another $1,000 from you to fix the problem that. But that would frustrate me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it would me too.
So it probably isn't the best use of my time.
Yeah.
But it's what it is.
Yeah. So, is there a breed of dogs that like? Okay, so I have a cane corso. They're a mean dog. No, he looks mean. He will lick you to death, and that's about it. Unless you come in the house at night or jump the fence at night. Is there a breed that you say, don't be a newbie trying to own this breed because?
Oh, definitely a Mal.
Yeah.
A Malinois. No.
Yeah.
They need a job. Like these Shepherds are a little bit different than the German Shepherds, but the Mals, they have so much energy. They need something to do or they will tear up everything you own. So, like, I get lucky with Urich and Rush. They play with each other, so that keeps them from destroying everything. But even then, they still dig sometimes because they get bored. So they're not digging to – I found this out. I realized that they're digging because we have the St. Augustine grass, and it's got the little runners.
Yeah.
They like playing with the runners. And so they're digging to get those out so they can play on them, chew on them, do all that. And that's what they're doing. They're not digging just to make a hole. They're digging to play with those things. It's tearing up my yard, and I'm not really happy about it. But
that would drive me nuts.
So how much do the city pay for the kennels?
Yes.
That goes in, and then once they're retired or whatever and you keep them, do you have to do anything with the kennels? Like, can you break it down, or is it a permanent fixture?
It's a permanent fixture.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I need one so bad. I just won't spend the money to do it.
No.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah.
That's including training too.
Yeah, but
so
man, I don't know. Y'all train every day. It's almost like I log on and I can see. Okay, y'all are in Plano or you're in Mansfield.
Yeah,
Y'all
we train at least
day.
every Wednesday. We train, and then every day you're doing something, especially with new dogs. So new dogs, you got all kinds of things that you have to work on. And this dog needs more obedience than the other dogs that I had do. So every day I'm coming in, I'm doing some kind of working with him on something.
So if you're off, but you're at the house and you're like, you know what? Nope. You need 2 hours of training. Let's go. Is that overtime for you, or you just know that's just your time? And
no, we get compensated for doing things at the house. Yeah. So we go home an hour early each day.
Yeah.
So we only work a 9-hour shift instead of a 10.
Okay.
And that's to compensate for the time that we do stuff at home.
I was gonna say you working at home.
Yeah. I mean, just grooming and feeding the dogs is going to take up that much time during the week.
Yeah. Oh, sure, yeah.
Scooping all their poop and everything too. So, and I've got 3 of them now. Yeah. So it's a mess.
Yeah. No. 3 big dogs. No. All right. So now we're just gonna kind of go way back. So
the interview's supposed to be about.
I know
about me. Yeah, that's all right.
Now we're gonna talk about.
I can talk about dogs all day long. It's what I've been doing for the last 9 years.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
So how long have you been a police officer?
As of September, it was 16 years.
Dang, that's good.
Yeah.
All here, or did you?
No, I worked 3 years for another agency.
Okay.
Neighboring agency.
Yeah.
Boo. I'm trying to remember if I remember which one that was. Which one was it? Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Killian was.
Yeah.
All 3 of us are laterals. Yeah, well, I'm a lateral before there were laterals.
Right. Yeah.
I actually
he's
took
gonna claim it first.
I actually took a pay cut to come here.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was about $2,000 a year.
Yeah.
That worked out in your favor long term.
It did.
I
It
was
did
gonna
long
say,
term.
So let's get into that. But so if you were somewhere else and you're like, man, I'm gonna go over here to take in, it's a kick in the butt to take a pay cut, any amount. What drove you? What made you come?
There was no opportunity at my last agency. Like it was either patrol, CID, or promote.
Yeah.
That was it.
Oh, okay.
And it was super busy there. We would average 25 calls a night.
As an individual.
Okay. And 6 reports a night.
Yeah.
On average. And there was nowhere to go, and it was super busy. And I was like, they had a K9 program, and that's what I ultimately wanted to do. And then that handler left to go to another agency. And they said, well, we're not going to fill that spot anymore. So I'm like, well, there's my only motivation to stay here. So
that's a good approach.
So I started looking around, and I'd heard good things about Grand Prairie, and so it's the only place I applied to and got hired.
Yeah, because where that agency is, they would have been the result of some of the chases from Grand Prairie.
Yeah, we had the same chase policy as your previous agency, where we wouldn't chase anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
So
just watching on the freeway, everybody have fun.
Yeah.
I got spikes. You need okay.
Yeah. We didn't even have that.
So
we basically
couldn't
couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like you just. I would actually make traffic stops.
I know where you got them from.
I would do when I'd make a traffic stop there, I wouldn't even get on the radio. I'd hit the lights first to see if they're going to stop.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't and you called out on it and then you said they ran, you had to do a report. If they just run, you just turn the lights off, turn the camera off, and turn around and go the other direction.
Yep.
Why do paperwork when I can't do anything about it? So
yeah.
That's like stolen cars. I used to hate people. When I started training here, I had this one kid got all hot and bothered about stolen cars, and I still had this. I don't know why. It's just hadn't shaken it from my last agency, but I hate stolen cars because you're gonna run it. It's stolen.
They're gonna
dispatch knows it's stolen as soon as you run it, and so they hit you up like, "Are you with that vehicle?" And it's like, "Yes," because you're just gonna hit the lights and they're gonna take off, and that's it. Whereas here, it's a completely different story.
Yes, I had one pursuit at my last agency, and because it had to be a violent felony.
Yeah.
The call was
in progress or
okay.
Yeah, it's
so
ridiculous.
It's the same as y'all's old one. The call was a male was pulling a female into a car and was hitting her. I saw that as a kidnapping with an assault, and that's how I put it out over the radio.
Yeah.
When I was asked why I was chasing the car, I was like, well, it sounds like a kidnapping with an assault. So it's a violent felony in progress. And it was just a family violence.
Okay, I'll turn
But
my
again,
lights
you know,
off.
that's a good point. Bring it, and they're probably going to completely edit out anything I say with policies. But that's a good point when it comes to the different departments and administrations' opinions. Because you have to think from a liability perspective at some point. Somebody has to. We can't all be a bunch of cowboys out there chasing everything for as long as we can. Somebody has to kind of be the adult at one point and say, are we really? Do we need to be doing this?
Yeah.
But that's an example of going too far the other direction.
Yeah.
Because you also have to think from the perspective of liability and just a moral duty we have to these people we're supposed to protect. What if there was a kidnapping?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to play the worst case scenario in our job. That's why we carry guns.
Yeah.
If we didn't play the worst case scenario, most of us wouldn't carry guns because none of us are going to use them. Most likely.
I mean, how do you know that that's not what it is? Like,
100%.
I mean, 99% of it is probably going to be a family violence deal.
Yep.
But it could be a kidnapping. It could be child trafficking. I mean, you don't know what it is.
Yep.
You just know that someone's being assaulted and being drugged into a car, and they're leaving, and they're not stopping for the police.
Yep.
And I feel like I have a moral obligation to chase that person and try to save that person that's in the car.
Yep. And that's why I appreciate where I work now, and that even though there have been instances where it would have been really easy, and a lot of other departments would have moved away from having, say, a chase policy or a use of force policy or using tasers like we do, we seem to still have a grasp on our responsibility to interject ourselves and to enforce, as opposed to just, not our problem, which unfortunately seems to be the trend nationally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the big thing is that you have to not only trust but empower your people to make the decision to call that off as well.
Right.
And teach them when's the right time. Hey, this pursuit is for what we have and what we know, like we need to stop that. And that's one of the battles I know that we're having right now is we got these young guys coming in and they think, oh, well, I can just chase anything. I was like, you can.
Yes.
But if it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon and we're going 120 miles an hour down the shoulder on I-20, it's probably not the best thing for a traffic violation.
Right. Yeah.
And teaching these younger guys to, hey, that's one you're just going to have to say, I'll catch you later.
Yeah.
I'll find you another time, or we'll figure something out. And it's as opposed to driving, and I'm guilty of it. I used to do the same thing when I was younger. And, I can chase you. I'm going to fly down.
Well, because, and it is a valid argument, but the flip side to, hey, it's a traffic violation is also it's not anymore.
Yeah.
Like your average individual is not taking off because they don't want a ticket. So there's something else.
Yeah.
But still being able to weigh that
with
risk reward.
Like I said, 5 o'clock in the afternoon is different than 3 o'clock in the morning. At 3 o'clock in the morning, we're going 120 down I-20 for a traffic violation. I will keep going on that. But
you
5 o'clock in the
might get
afternoon,
passed by somebody not involved.
Yeah. That's very true. But at 5 o'clock in the afternoon during rush hour, I'm not going down the shoulder at 120 miles an hour chasing someone for speeding. You know, it's just it's not worth it.
I think we do a good job, though, as a culture, too. Because I've never heard anybody had about calling one off.
No.
I've guys to them about losing people.
Yeah.
I had a rookie. I cussed him up one side down the other because he lost somebody when I was sitting in the passenger seat because he wasn't driving fast enough.
Yeah, I've passed several rookies.
Yeah.
In chases.
But as far as, and I think that's important as far as having guys comfortable saying, I don't know if this is that situation, but I'm personally going to err on the side of caution. I think that's a big part of.
There's nothing against those guys who are doing that. I'm just like, you got to look at it. More teaching these young guys, hey, these pursuits, I get it. But this one, you saw, this isn't worth it.
For sure.
And just teaching those balance. I know one of the most annoying things I see is these people chasing these Hellcat Chargers. You know you're not going to catch them. Why are we even doing this? Let's not kill ourselves when we're not going to catch this.
You give them a quarter mile.
Yeah.
If they can drive it, just
call it. Yeah, and that's one thing that's been popping up a lot that just people are sitting on 20 trying to stop these. I'm like,
oh, really?
Just stop it.
No.
Just stop it.
No, man.
Even I know I'm not, as good as my driving skills are, I'm not catching that car. It's just impossible.
The same with motorcycles.
Yeah.
I don't really get.
I'm not a big motorcycle chaser either. I'll light them up, and if they take off, I'm not chasing you.
Well, I'll give them a little bit. If you can't take corners
first,
right? Yeah,
and then I decide to light them up or not.
Yeah. If you can't take corners right, or you obviously don't know how to shift or whatever. Okay, well, I'll hang with you.
Well, I had a funny story. So I got this motorcycle coming from one of the dope motels, and that's K9's. That's what I do. I look for dope, and I saw him come from the motel. And I'm like, okay, He's on a motorcycle. I'm not keen on chasing a motorcycle, but then he pulls up to the light and he's doing this as he's stopping. I'm like,
the wobble.
Yeah, this is my guy. So I go to light him up. He pulls over, and then so I get out of my car and he tries to take off, revs the engine, then kills it. Just kills it.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, okay, dude,
just
just get off the bike. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And I'm like, okay, cool. Just step off the bike. And then he starts it up again. I'm like, dude, just turn off the bike. And he's like, oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Then he starts and trying to take off on the bike again. He finally gets it going, but he's having a hard time. He turns a corner, doesn't see the curb, center punches the curb, launches him off the bike. The pursuit was all of 15 seconds.
That's amazing.
You walk over and you hand him your handcuffs.
You're like, you're bad at this, right?
He broke his collarbone. I'm like, we didn't even take him to jail. We just sent him to the hospital. Like, we'll follow it later.
Jeez, that's funny.
It's a great video. I've got it. But I'm like you tried once and you killed the bike. Like, I'm not even going to charge you for that. Like, just get off the bike.
Bike.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
At least tried again.
He's like, bro, there are no charges. I'll see you later. Bye.
I don't even know why he was running. He had no warrants. He had no dope. I don't know why he was running.
Being silly.
He sees us the rest of the time that we turn off the lights and stop chasing him.
I guess,
like,
maybe.
oh, they're not going to chase me. It's like, no, they're just really good, and you're really not.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. All right, so I wanted to ask you. You said you came over before we had a lateral program. So how was that? Like, did they say we're going to honor your years of service? Or?
Well, no. So I didn't. I started over at the bottom.
No.
That's why I got the pay cut. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So I started.
We're going to file a grievance right now.
I mean, eventually, once we started the lateral program, I got bumped up to where I'm supposed to be now.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
But at this point, I've been here long enough. I'm already maxed out anyway. So.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too bad. So, like, I started on a Monday. I had a week of in-service, and then I started FT on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
You heard it. Come on over lateral.
And don't expect that.
No, don't expect that.
lot has
Honestly,
changed.
I think it's better to have the several
absolutely.
weeks to kind of get used. So, like, I got my policies on Thursday. And you know how long the policies are.
Right.
I got it on Thursday, and I started on Saturday. So there was no way I was reading all that. So I read the use of force policy and all the patrol section.
Right.
And that's all I could get through before I started FTO.
You got your gun?
So I was kind of operating off of what I knew from my old agency and just trying to learn what the differences were as I was
trying to
going
think, like, if I've read policy outside of that. I've always taken it very much, I'm going to do my best.
Yeah.
And if I mean well,
honest
it's
effort.
going to work out.
Yeah.
But so it was an interesting experience. Actually, the DC was one of my FTOs, and so was this guy back here.
Yeah.
This DC?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
They were both my FTOs, so it's been interesting.
I was going to say, I bet that was.
Carlos and I had
an
interesting afternoon where we screamed at each other for about 5 minutes.
Carlos?
Yeah.
Really?
You not heard the stories about him beating on the dash and stuff, yelling at people? Oh, yeah.
Really?
He can shake his head all he wants.
That's funny.
Yeah. No, we were having one of those.
Have you done an interview yet?
No. He needs to. Yeah. So we were having one of those afternoons where calls just would not stop.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to be going home, and we weren't going home because they kept sending us stuff. And we had to go. We were going to a call on the east side down Jefferson, and then we had to go to a call on the west side. They canceled for that one, sent us to another one, and we were both like, And so I didn't turn around fast enough for Carlos. And so he started screaming at me to turn the car around. And I told him I'll turn the car around when I feel it's safe to do so, and not as safe as before, using some more colorful language than that.
That is the police response when I feel safe to do so.
Oh, that's funny.
And then we stewed about it for a while, and then when I went to the DOR, I'm like, it's one of those days where you're just like, I don't care. I'm just going to sign the thing. I'm going home. I don't care. And he's like, and there was nothing in there about that. I was like, oh. And then he's like, you were right. You're going to control the car. You determined to say, but don't ever yell at me again.
I can't see him yelling at all.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
funny.
Don't let him lie to you.
Yeah,
he yelled at everybody. You can find a bunch of people around my time in, and they will all tell you about pounding the dash.
We're going to make that a new segment. Like, Carlos hurt me here.
There's probably several people you can get with Carlos hurt me stories.
That's funny.
So you started off in patrol, and then you only went to K9.
Yeah, I've been in K9 since 2014. So.
Yeah. And have you
was
seen
9
a lot
years
of?
ago.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, have you seen a big change like when you first started versus now, even with the dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gotten more active. Like when I first
Really?
came in the unit, nothing on those guys. It's just there weren't a lot of people using them.
Yeah.
So it's like, they.
But yeah,
Yeah,
for the dynamic situations, because that's one of the cool things about your spot is y'all go to all the cool
Oh
stuff.
yeah, we do go. Just even for narcotic stuff, like we didn't have a bunch of narcotics hunters out there on patrol. So I mean, that's where most of our business
Really?
come from, is helping patrol. So, so we've had to train up guys to like, hey, if you think you got drugs, call us. Like,
Right.
and that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a very specific way to use K9 for narcotics investigations, especially on that traffic stop. And I'm not going to go into all of them, but you have to make sure you're doing things the right way, because you can do things slightly wrong and
lose everything.
in a suppression. Lose everything because you said the wrong thing, or you went the wrong amount of time to do something. So it's very important to make sure you're on the same
so
page.
that's part of like training up these new guys, and that's one of the things that all three of us take responsibility of. Like, we're trying to train these new people because our shifts change constantly, the patrol shifts. So you're having to find, okay, which guys like to hunt dove? Okay, I need to kind of take that one under my wing because he's going to be the guy that calls me.
Right.
So I need to teach him what he needs to do to use us appropriately. And then, once I find those people, then I hear them make a traffic stop. I already start floating their way. So that way I can be there quickly to do whatever we need to do.
And then he has those officers that you hear him do a traffic stop, and he floats the other way. He's like,
He never makes it on time.
But
Just kidding. We don't have those officers here.
Yeah, no, not here.
But if we did, it would be the personnel and recruiting fault.
yeah.
So did you always know you were going to be a cop? No?
So I actually wanted to be a fire pilot. No, so I would actually start
pilot.
fighter pilot. Yeah.
Oh, fighter pilot.
Yeah. So I was
thought
actually
you were
in
gonna say firefighter at first.
I was in ROTC. I had a full scholarship for aerospace engineering. And
Are you smart?
I hated it. I'm smart enough for it, but I hated it.
You never know with cops.
Yeah,
We all
I
kinda
went
act the same.
through
So you're like,
3
you
years
could
of
be a dumb guy?
calculus, several levels of physics, all this stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. I took a lot of stuff, and then after about 2 years, I was like, I really, really hate this.
Yeah.
It's not fun. And so I decided to change majors. I went through the process to do that with ROTC. I lost my scholarship, and then somebody didn't turn in, you know how the military is. If you don't turn in the right form at the right time, then, everything's wrong, and you have to.
You don't exist anymore.
Yeah, so I got pushed back, and they told me I'd have to stay in school for an extra year because I didn't get selected for the officer version of basic, and so I would have to wait another year to go to that, and then that pushes me
The
back.
Air
I still do
Force?
two. Yes,
What the heck?
I know.
6 weeks.
All off one form,
That's ridiculous.
and so I made the decision. I was like, I'm just gonna finish school, and so I started looking for a new major, and I'm like, criminal justice sounds interesting. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to go off of what I think is interesting now. So
Yeah.
did that, a minor in political science, and I'm like getting close to graduation. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was like, being a cop sounds like fun. So sure, why not? Let me give it a try.
Yeah.
And then that's when I got hired by my last agency and loved every second of it and been here since. So.
It is fun.
Do you think you'll finish in K9 or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. It depends on how long. I'm going to work this. This is my last dog for sure. I'm not getting another one after this. So I got 6 to 8 years with this dog and
And you're how many in?
16.
No. With the dog.
With a year, 2.
Okay.
Or just over a year.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I've had him for a year and 3 months now. So
So you could potentially,
I'll hit 20 before I finish this dog.
Yeah.
So
but most of us never.
yeah,
We don't retire.
we'll see what I decide to do after that. Not sure yet. So
Still got the political science.
yeah,
Fall back on.
that degree that'll do absolutely nothing for me. But I've got 16 years of this experience doing this, so that should be good for something somewhere.
Yeah.
Just hadn't figured out what I'm going to do after this yet or not. But I mean, even when I hit 20, I'll be 42. So
That's not bad at all.
I got plenty of time. Yeah, I started at 22.
Yeah.
See, so did I. But our last agency, retirement was different than this.
Yeah.
So I lost 4 years.
Yeah, so my last agency was TMRS, just like here.
Oh, okay.
So all my stuff just transferred over.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
yeah,
really
retirement-wise, I started at 26.
So-
I actually started being a cop at 22.
So even if I retire at 30, I'll be 52. I'll have plenty of time to do something else, and I'll be too bored if I sit at home.
Right.
So.
Now you're married. Obviously, you're married, have kids. Was your wife? Was she a part of the picture the whole process as far as the Air Force, deciding to be a cop and everything, or did she?
So we've actually known each other since we were 3.
Okay.
So we went to the same preschool, elementary school, stuff like that. She moved away when we were 16, and we lost contact until mid-20s.
Yeah.
Okay.
I found her on Facebook, and
I was about to say Facebook.
Yep.
Damn Facebook.
she was living in Mexico and Arizona at the time, and
Okay.
so I chatted her up, and she started dating, and
You got her to come all the way over here.
I did.
Dang.
I know. She
What
said she'd
lines
never
did
come
you
back
use?
to Texas, and then here she is.
Hello, fell in my hat.
Yeah. So
I say what was your DM approach there?
she's gonna laugh because she had a picture of her on the beach, and I said, still hot, I see.
That's awesome.
Real Shakespeare.
I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it. Yeah. I just took my shot, and it worked, and at least started a conversation, and
Yes, sir.
went from there.
That's cool.
She read that message. She's like, Texas.
Oh,
that's
it took several months before she sent me a message back, but
That's funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
Man, I have. How many messages did you send her before she responded?
no, I just did the one, and I just let it go.
Because I have a Facebook. If you don't think that women put up with ridiculous crap from dudes,
Oh, I have no doubts.
just create a Facebook that looks like a female. Holy crap! Like every time I log on, I've got 30 messages. Guys, like they'll send you instant messages, ask you what your Cash App is, freaking, like, hey, you're beautiful, you're nice, we should hang out. Oh, you're such a blah blah blah. It's like, God, dude, like, I'm a 34-year-old man.
Yeah.
Go away.
No, I didn't do any of that kind of craziness.
That's good.
I just made the one comment and just decided to see what would happen.
That's awesome, man.
I mean, the worst that happened was the same as already. I hadn't talked to her in years anyway,
Right,
so doesn't change anything. But
That's funny.
Yeah, was she on board though with like you wanting to be a police?
I was
officer?
already an officer by the time we started dating. So,
Oh, okay.
so
Makes it easier.
Yeah.
yeah, somewhat.
No adjustment.
Yeah. So the dogs have been an adjustment, but
Yeah, I'm sure. I was going to ask you, is the third and final dog a you thing or a her thing? She's just
it's definitely
nah.
a me thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was not happy about it, but.
Yeah.
Because Rush, my second one, was supposed to be my last one, but obviously he only lasted a year, and I was like,
That's not fair.
Yeah.
I'm not really ready to give this up just yet.
Right.
So,
You got 2 kiddos, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. They're young though, right?
yeah, 8 and 3.
Yeah.
Well, this month.
So what do you think? What I mean, I know it's a lot to ask, but what do you have in mind whenever you're done with K9?
I'm thinking about either promoting or coming upstairs
Okay.
to CID. So,
Cool.
but
Very.
several years from now.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure
CID
by
is
that
fun.
time I'll be ready to be off the streets and off nights. I've been on nights for pretty much the whole 16 years.
Really?
So,
Yeah, that's a long time.
like we now, the 3 K9s, we rotate shifts, but there's only one day shift. So you get
okay.
a day shift once every 18 months.
How? Oh, so y'all
Rotate
by
every
bid.
6 months, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we rotate
Yeah.
every 6 months. You stay on nights for a year, then you come back to days for 6 months.
Patrol looks good to me.
Yeah, that wouldn't work for me either.
It's better than not seeing days at all because that's what it would be if I didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't do that, and we figured it was fair. All of us have been in the unit for 5 or more years,
Yeah.
so that's kind of
Yeah, you don't want one guy just getting
Yeah.
One guy was
all the
getting
days.
working every Friday, Saturday. Well,
Oh, on nights.
yeah,
Oh, yes.
No, sir.
yeah, because our training day's Wednesday, so we work Sunday through Wednesday or Wednesday through Saturday, and the day shift works Tuesday through Friday.
Okay.
So the one guy working Wednesday through Saturday works every weekend.
I know. He could not have been happy about that.
No, well, when you're new, like I did it for several years.
sure.
You know, I mean, you got to pay your dues. But
There you go.
when all of us have been here for 5+ years, it's not fair to keep one person stuck on that because, especially, Lance just got a new dog. I've got a new dog. Nobody's going anywhere.
Right.
So there's no chance of movement. So
Yeah. That's good though. At least somebody was proactive and was willing to listen. Because I don't know a lot of places, a lot of departments would be like,
It is what it
there was an agreement we all 3 came to.
That's good.
Together. We were like, it's only fair because we all got kids. We all
Right.
have families. We all want to have that nice little day shift life. And honestly, I had a lot of fun when I was on days.
days is fun. The traffic
Yes.
is difficult. but-
Yeah, that part's so. But getting to work, I got narcotics calling me. I got auto theft calling me. Majors
Oh,
is
yeah.
calling me because I'm a free unit. So
Right.
I'm not answering calls. Like if somebody needs something, they know that I'm not doing anything.
Right.
So getting all these people calling me, I had a lot of fun. I had U.S. Marshals calling me. We were having all kinds of fun on days.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, he gets to see all the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before we get off,
Dang, time's up already.
one of the whenever we talk to people who, probably all three of us, who are thinking about being police officers, they always, I want to be a detective. But the other one that comes up is I want to be K9. Everybody wants to be
K9.
everybody likes dogs.
That's because nobody knows what we do.
Right. If just kind of speaking to people who have that kind of predisposition, but are taking it a little bit more seriously than just the girl who likes the Discovery Channel, but like actually have researching and considering a profession in like yours. What's some advice you'd give them or things you would tell them to look for?
Definitely come to training with us. Like we offer it to everybody who works here. You can come be a decoy and train with us and see what we actually do, because it looks fun. Yeah. And it is when you're actually working, but it is probably one of the most frustrating things I've ever done in my life.
Really?
Working with these dogs. These dogs, it's one thing when you're training something that can think for itself and makes rational decisions. Mm-hmm. And we're not dealing with that. We're dealing with an animal who makes decisions based off of instinct. And sometimes we don't want them to do things, and they decide, well, screw you, I want to do this because I'm an animal and I'm going to do it.
So it's just like being an FTO.
Yeah. So for worse, because at least that person has a rational brain to think about what they're doing. I'm not saying they did it correctly, but they have the rational brain to make that decision and to make a decision when these animals are just working off of instinct.
Right. Yeah.
And you're just having to curb that instinct and channel it into what you want. Right. And it can be one of the most frustrating processes that you've ever deal with in your life.
Well, appreciate you sitting down, man.
No problem.
It was interesting.
Yes, sir.
Learned a lot of stuff and be a little bit more understanding of my dog and its weird death perceptions.
All right.
All right, guys. Till next time.
Till next time.